What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ and Buck with you. Happy New Year, Buck.
Man, happy New Year to you too, man. It's such a great time of reflection, gratitude, but also looking ahead at the possibilities and opportunities that 2026 will bring.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great year in 2025. Really excited about 26. Excited as we kind of get into the fun part of the season. We're here down the home stretch of the college football season. The playoffs getting ready to crank up in the NFL. We've got draft talk, which will start kind of cranking up a little bit here. So it's a fun time of year. Always enjoy January. And I was looking at some of the things going on in the football landscape, and I was like, gosh, I feel like there's a couple of things we didn't get a chance to address on here. We haven't talked about. And I wanted to get your thoughts on it because I haven't heard it yet. But the big one to me was Michigan has a coach. And it's an old buddy of ours, someone we've followed forever and been around forever, is Kyle Whittingham, making the move over to Michigan after he stepped down at Utah. So what's your gut on how that's going to go down?
I think he fits the brand. I think he fits everything that Michigan wants to be. And I will say that given how the Michigan franchise and brand was built, like let's think about Bo Schembechler and how they always wanted to play and how it was recreated under Jim Harbaugh, where they always have a certain way that they play. But when you look at those Utah teams and you think about the culture and all those things, Kyle Whittingham approaches football like Bo Schembechler and those great coaches that Michigan have. I think the recruiting will be different because he comes from the West Coast and now dealing in the Midwest. But in terms of stylistically feel all this, it feels like a great fit. And even though it took them a while to figure out who the coach was going to be, I think they landed on a good one, regardless of the age. I think he is a nice fit for Michigan and what they need right now.
Yeah, I think if you look at the Michigan teams that have beaten Ohio State, and they beat them a bunch until this last year, they had a nice little run. They did it by being the more physical line of scrimmage team. And if you're going to make a list of the coaches that have done the best job of building through the trenches, of having a physical identity, Kyle might be the number one guy on the list, what they've done at Utah.
100%. I mean, that's what they do. But it's not only that, DJ, like going all the way back, I remember Utah's reemergence first under Urban Meyer, and then the way that Kyle Whittingham extended it. It wasn't just like the physicality and the toughness. I would say it was the culture. And I would say that one of the reasons why we used to love to shop at Utah when it came for NFL prospects, those guys always seemed to find a way to make it because they were built the right way. They had the right intangibles. They came ready to work at an NFL level. And I mean, just think about the great pros that have come out of that university. That's not by chance. That is because they were developed and really given the right tools to be successful as pros.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that whole thing comes together, and it's going to be fun to get his first taste of that Ohio State-Michigan rivalry down the road there. And ironic, as you mentioned, Urban Meyer, kind of his mentor, who he came up under. Urban Meyer obviously is the one who got Ohio State back on the right track, and they had been down a little bit. So it'll be fascinating to watch that rivalry going forward. Buck, we need to have our rookie draft here. This is the last one as we come down the home stretch here. I'll be honest with you, I'm out of it. I have been hammered this year in the rookie draft. So Rhett is in first place, 73 points. You have a shot here. You're at 69. I'm at 62, dead in the water. So I'm not going to lie to you. My focus and attention on this is not great. I thought about conniving, kind of coming up with a plan. How do I not pick some guys?
Torpedo.
Get some guys to go.
But it's so hard.
To go towards you. I was trying to funnel some players towards you.
But it's so hard because week 18, we got people that are not playing their people. So this is
play.
No one knows. So now we're digging in the crates trying to figure out what to come up with. And the one thing that we know is Red is very resourceful when it comes to these things. He's going to try and find a way to get this thing done.
Yeah, but Rhett's not here, so Gavin's going to have to pick for him. Gav, I don't have this confirmed, but I think all my good weeks came with me doing the picks, and I think I've struggled when you've done the picks. Don't look that up. Don't look it up. But that's how I'm telling myself. That's what I'm telling myself here. For how that's where I am. So we have got look at that. Red has the first pick. It goes
Red has the first pick,
and then myself here as we knock out our final rookie draft. Buck, you got to have a good one here. He's going to go T-Mac. He's going with McMillan with his first pick here. So you are up next, Buck.
Oh man, Like, man, let's see if we can go with the gift that keeps on giving. Let's see if we can go with Harold Fanning Jr.
He's hurt. He's hurt. He got hurt.
He's not playing, though?
Yeah, you can't do that one.
Oh, that's crummy. All right, we're coasting Loveland for the Bears. We're going to have to take him.
You're going to go
Riley
Loveland.
Leonard. Yeah, because Riley Leonard is playing quarterback for whatever, so I don't know what that's going to look like.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Warren. And then I'll come back. So that's my tight end. Now I need a running back, receiver. Well, Ibuka's got to play well. They're in a war. So I'll go Ibuka with my wideout here. Buck, you're up.
Man, so this is tricky, right? Because the Patriots need to win, but Trey Reynolds, whatever. But then let's go to Commanders. Let's go with Bill.
Oh, Krosky Merritt?
Yeah. He had a good game last time against Phil. Let's go with Bill.
Okay. He's going Henderson.
Oh, Travion. Maybe a sprained ankle.
And then Gadsden with the Chargers kind of resting some guys. Playing against the Broncos team that has to win, but I think Gadsden probably still gets some work there. So he goes Gadsden.
Freak. God, I can't be solely dependent. Luther Burden had a quad injury at the end of the game, and I leaned on him.
Yeah, I didn't feel great about that.
No. Man, what other freaky wideouts are there? Mecca Buka's gone. T-Mac is gone. You got the kids from Houston, but, man, you never know if it's going to be Higgins or Noel. I don't like that.
You go Trey Harris, might be getting some work for the Chargers with a lot of guys sitting.
Oh, Trey Lance has to throw it to somebody.
That's a tough secondary, though, and that's a team in Denver that's got everything to play for. You just roll the dice on Burden playing. Why don't you roll the dice? That's your best upside play on Burden, but I don't know if he's playing.
Like, that's the thing. It's so bad. Like, we may have to come back with an addendum, like a fantasy.
Why don't you do Burden, and then if he's out, you have Higgins as your fallback?
All right, we'll do Burden. Like, because he was good. He was so good last week. He gave me some.
He's going Burden. And look, you got a quarterback, Caleb Williams, only needs, 270, I think? And then
he has to throw it.
Yeah.
They have to throw it.
They got to exercise that 4,000-yard demon. I'm going to come back with Harvey, so I'll go with the running back out of Denver in a game that they need to win to lock up the number one seed. My picks don't matter. It's all Bucky versus Rhett here. So we've got Bucky is going to roll out Loveland, Bill, Tchaikovsky Merritt, and Luther Burden. Rhett's got McMillan, Henderson, Gadsden. It's good. It's a good threesome there. But you got some ground to close, Buck, but it's doable. We'll see if you can reel down Rhett. Oh, it'd be a crusher if you caught him here in the last week. By the way, to watch all these rookies, sign up for NFL Plus Premium and check out NFL Pro, where you can access over 95 unique player and team performance stats and the All-22 film available on desktop and on mobile web. All right, Buck, it doesn't get bigger than this. You've got division titles up for grabs here. Let's start first of all, Panthers Bucks. That is 4:30 p.m. On ABC. What are you looking forward to in that game? What's the key to the ball game?
Oh, man, the key to the ball game is which version of the Panthers is going to show up. This is a team that has been up and down. They've taken us on the roller coaster the entire season. Defense is good enough to be able to get it done, but they're going to need their offense to show up. Because I feel like Baker and the Buccaneers are going to finally put some points on the board. To me, this is a Bryce Young, Ted McMillan game, T-Mac game. They got to find a way to connect on the passing game. And then, they got to run the ball. When they run the ball, everything flows from that. To me, this is about their offense being able to control the game. They got to run the ball, and they got to hope that these Buccaneers bust coverages like they've been doing the last few weeks, and maybe T-Mac can hit them over the top.
Yeah, I think they're going to try and get their pass game going a little bit early and just try and get Bryce Young out of the funk he was in against Seattle last week. So to me, on the Tampa side of things, keep him hemmed in, control your rush. Don't let him, escape and create and make some things happen there. Make him throw out of that well. And then Baker's he's just got to make better decisions, play smart, take what's there. Don't be too greedy. I don't think you need a bazillion points to win this game. I think Baker's got to kind of play within himself. First one to 21 wins here, in my opinion, in this matchup between the Panthers and the Bucks. By the way, in terms of what will happen here, Panthers, they win the NFC South and make the playoffs with a win. Even if the Panthers lose, they can also clinch the division if the Falcons win against the Saints. So for the Bucs to win the division, get in the postseason, they need to win this game against Carolina and have the Falcons lose or tie on Sunday against the Saints, and that would get them the NFC South title, and they would get into the playoffs. All right,
a lot of complications.
A lot of complications. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy for Carolina. Just win and you're in. That's all. That's the easy part. The game of the weekend is going to follow that one, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. That is the Seattle Seahawks traveling to take on the 49ers, Buck.
Such a good game. Such a great game. Any of those NFC West showdowns are terrific. Let's take the Niners approach, man. Look, the Niners offense is on fire. This is the best job that I've seen Kyle Shanahan do. I think what he's been able to do with this team is next level. Brock Purdy is dealing. Like he has just found his rhythm with this, and the way they are doing it. Like CMC is certainly the centerpiece, but they're now beginning to get the production in the passing game. Ricky Pearsall is coming on board. Juwan Jennings is making plays. They got tight ends just jumping in for George Kittle and finding ways to make plays. Just a really good team and a really good offense. And I don't know if anybody can slow this team down. I don't know if you can slow them down on offense.
Yeah, look, Seattle's defense has been fantastic. They were fantastic last week against Carolina, suffocating Bryce Young, as I was just talking about. I just the way San Francisco's offense is playing right now, gosh, you got to get to 28, I would say. I mean, that sounds crazy as good as Seattle's defense has been, but San Francisco didn't punt the way that they've been humming along here. So to me, Sam Darnold, there's opportunities. You saw it in that secondary last week against the Bears. Caleb Williams was able to get some things going. I think Sam has an opportunity in this one. I know Sam's probably sitting there going, gosh, could we ever get one of these, end of the year games at my place? You had to go on the road last year in Detroit and then turn around, go on the playoffs, go on the road against the Rams. He has the big come from behind win over the Rams, just a few weeks ago in Seattle. But now, man, he's got to go do it on the road again. But I would say this is the most consequential game. I think if Seattle can win this game, I think that's the greatest home field that we have in this playoff field. It would be Seattle hosting the NFC all the way through. That is not an easy place to go. And I think that is going to make them not only the number one seed with a bye, but I think that makes them the clear favorite for me in the NFC if they can secure home field advantage.
And I think the Niners play with a level of desperation because as a shorthanded team, being able to play their games at home and get the bye, significant advantage because it helps some of their guys get back. Because they talked about Fred Warner potentially being able to play if they played long enough in the postseason. But George Kittle getting rested, making sure CMC is ready to go. And it's such a difference in having two to go to the show than having to play that extra game.
I mean, there's a real chance that the Niners win and they have the number one seed. Lose, they could end up being the 6th seed, have to go to Philly. I mean, that is
and they don't
difference.
Yeah, and they don't want those problems. Look, I'm going to go with the Niners. They're just so hot. Now, they can't stop him, but they're going to have to play bend but don't break. That offense, just maybe because it's recency bias, just watching them go up and down the field.
Yeah. No, Seattle's defense is really good, though, Buck.
They're terrific.
I went back and watched their week 1 game. And they had 7 explosives in the air, San Francisco did, with a lot of just deep too high safeties from Seattle. So they hit a slot seam. They sneak use check down the sideline to hit a hole shot versus that look. They're running everybody out of there with those 2 deep safeties. He checks one down to McCaffrey, I believe, and he goes and gets a bunch of yards. And then there was a couple opportunities down the field where they hit and then beat some man coverage on why am I blanking on his name? 27, this huge corner for Seattle.
Is it Woolen?
Yeah, Tariq Woolen. Thank you. Or Reek Woolen. They beat him Pearsall got him a couple times, stuttered go, and then beat him on a 7 route. But they only had 1 explosive run. They took the run away. And I would say Seattle's defense has played a lot more snug coverage since then. I don't think they're going to play quite as conservative, with their safeties. I think they can pull those guys down a little closer to the line of scrimmage. Eamon Wari is a big-time difference maker, the way he's kind of evolved in that defense. So I think Seattle's defense is really, really good. But like you, it's hard to get what we've seen out of San Francisco's the San Francisco offense out of my head. So I think I ended up going with San Francisco in a close game, but I think this is like a 28, 24, 30, 27. I think it's going to be a good game, man.
Look, I think it's very similar to the Thursday night game they played against the Rams. It's a back and forth affair, and It comes down to the end. It comes down to who was able to win the fourth quarter. Look, I'm in on the Niners, but I wouldn't be surprised. I will say this. Sam Darnold's experience last year should help him play better this year down the stretch. Yeah. Those 2 games where he had to play like high-end games for the Vikings and it didn't go his way, he'll be better prepared to handle the pressure. And you know this, having been with playoff teams or whatever. DJ, there's nothing that gets you ready to play in the playoffs except playoff games. Like you have to play in those games to get used to the urgency and the intensity. He'll be better prepared. I think he'll play much better this time around.
Yeah, and look, some of the stuff they had success with Swift on the ground last week, the Bears against that team. You see Seattle do a lot of the same things. You'll see some crack toss. You'll see them get out to the perimeter a little bit. So that'll be key. Get some balance to help Sam Darnold out there. All right, the last one, it is the battle for the AFC North. As we're recording this, still not we don't know yet if Lamar Jackson's going to start. But it looks like he was practicing as of Wednesday. So we've got the Ravens at the Steelers. That's 8:20 Eastern on NBC. The winner is going to clinch the division, and the number 4 seed, the loser, is out. So it literally is a loser leave town match.
Yeah, DJ, I think the best thing that happened to the Ravens was playing without Lamar Jackson last week and being forced to give the ball to Derrick Henry 36 times. To me, I think that is the epiphany that everyone in the building has to have. Like, you know what, guys? Maybe we should get back to the recipe that works for us, and that's running the football. And even if Lamar Jackson plays, running the football to set the table should create some big play opportunities. And going into this game, I think if you're Baltimore, you have to say the magic number is 21. You can't imagine the Pittsburgh Steelers scoring more than 21 points given what they're playing with. So how can we manufacture 21 points? Man, run it, kick it every time we have an opportunity, and just keep stacking points and see if Aaron Rodgers and company are good enough to match them point for point. I just don't think they can do it.
If I'm Pittsburgh, if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm talking to my defense and special teams, and I'm saying you got to give us something in this one. We need some short fields, whether that's a big kick return, we got to block a punt. Are we going to be able to get a sack fumble with our defensive front healthy and back put together? We've got to help our offense out here. To me, the Darnell Washington loss is huge. They had two bullies. They had 2 bullies on their team. It's DK Metcalf and him, and they're both out. So that's a big piece of their offensive identity. They have got to run the ball. They've got to throw the ball to their backs. Baldy said it when we were talking on Monday. Gainwell's the best option right now. He's their winner. He's the one who can win one-on-one. So they've got to do that. They've got to make kicks, and they have to have their defense, special teams help them out a little bit here.
You talk about pulling out all the stops. This is a trick play game. This is a fake punt game. This is all hands on deck. Let's have all of them ready, because for them, they have to manufacture points any way possible. They don't have the luxury of being able to say, hey, we're going to run it down Baltimore's throat, or we're going to find a way for Aaron Rodgers to dink and duck and carve them up with surgical precision. This is one it's going to take, I would say, Mike Tomlin's best coaching job to be able to get it done, because in my mind, they are a heavy underdog against the Baltimore Ravens with or without Lamar Jackson playing.
Yeah, I just think, though, man, if somehow they do win and they get DK Metcalf back, it's going to be, more than likely you can get some bad weather in Pittsburgh. They're going to be hosting a game. It's one of those deals to me, like I could see Pittsburgh winning an ugly game here, and then people say, "Oh, they're one and done." And then you don't want to go in there. You don't want to go into Pittsburgh in the weather. DK Metcalf's back. Aaron Rodgers has some, as much experience or more experience than anybody in the whole field. You might be able to combine everybody in the field. You might have more experience when you look at the landscape in the AFC right now. I think they're a dangerous team if they can get by this week. This is a big challenge for them.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing for Baltimore. Baltimore gets in the tournament. I think they're dangerous in terms of being able to do this. Hey, guys, it doesn't matter what the record is. Everyone is 0-0. Like, we believe coming into the season that we were a Super Bowl team. We get a chance to prove it all over again. They get the benefit of a home game. They'll have played some meaningful games getting ready. There'll be a hardened sense to them. And I think they get a chance to hit the reset button and make of the season what they want, given their success in the postseason. So either team can have danger. But, man, I just see the Ravens, and after watching Derrick Henry just run the football down through. And he's done it the last couple of weeks where he just run the football down people's throats. I am going to give it it may be a 40 maybe a 40 carry game, DJ. It may be one of those type games where, hey, dude, put your hard hat on. We're gonna ride big fella. We're gonna run them over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a physical affair, and we can definitely agree 100% on that one. Anything else you want to add, Buck, before we get out of here on a quick little episode?
Man, nothing is better than getting ready for the postseason in these games, and the way the league has kind of set it up, where all these games are meaningful. To end it on a Sunday night affair, Steelers and Ravens, loser leave town match. I mean, not and literally, DJ, we're talking about loser leaving town, like maybe the head coach.
Yeah, he might really leave town. Yeah.
I mean, it all stakes. Woo. Rivalry game. Ooh, love it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend of football. Cannot wait. We'll be back next week to wrap it all up for you as well. We appreciate you guys hanging with us. We will see you next time right here on Move the Sticks.